What would you do if faced with a high-stakes gamble in the business world? In the realm of tech innovations, where figures like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak loom large as pioneers, there exists the lesser-sung story of Ron Wayne, another founding visionary of Apple. An adept player in the electronics industry, Wayne's fortune aligned him with Steve Jobs at Atari, setting the stage for what would become a monumental tech enterprise. In 1976, amid a flurry of revolutionary ideas and garage-bound aspirations, Ron Wayne secured his place as a co-founder of Apple, acquiring a 10% ownership stake. More than merely observing, Wayne was the seasoned gambler at the table, the steadying hand of wisdom amidst youthful exuberance. He even designed the first Apple logo, leaving an indelible mark on the brand. Imagine holding a ticket to potentially astronomical gains, opting instead to fold your hand and walk away from the table. Let's delve into Ron Wayne's bold decision, a true gamble that could have commanded immense reward. In the vibrant tech atmosphere of 1970s Silicon Valley, a unique trio formed a partnership that would change the world. It was the year 1976 when Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, two young and ambitious tech enthusiasts, joined forces with a somewhat more seasoned Ron Wayne. Wayne, at the age of 41, brought a stabilizing presence to the spirited dynamism of his younger counterparts. Jobs and Wozniak were the quintessential dreamers, their minds brimming with ideas that could revolutionize personal computing. However, they needed a guide, someone who could provide a sense of direction and practical insight into the business world. That's where Ron Wayne came into the picture. His experience was invaluable, providing a grounding force to the team's inventive but unbridled energy. One of Wayne's first contributions was drafting the original partnership agreement that legally bound this trio under the name Apple Computer Company. This document was not just a formality, it was the foundation upon which their shared dreams would either rise or fall. Furthermore, Wayne's artistic streak complemented his administrative acumen. He took to designing what would become the first Apple logo, a detailed pen and ink illustration that depicted Isaac Newton sitting under an apple tree, poised on the brink of inspiration. This logo was emblematic of the innovative spirit that defined Apple from its very inception, and underscored Wayne's integral role in the company's early days. But even in these early moments of excitement, clouds of concern were gathering for Ron Wayne. Just 11 days in, the winds of risk and uncertainty began to swirl around the nascent Apple. It was 1976, a pivotal year that saw the birth of a company that would become a colossus in the world of technology. Amidst this backdrop of innovation and potential, stood Ron Wayne, a man whose decision would become one of the most talked about in tech history. Ron Wayne, unlike his younger counterparts Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, was already in his 40s. His role was to be the adult in the room, the voice of reason. But with the role came the weight of responsibility. Apple was a fledgling venture, teetering on the edge of the unknown, its future as uncertain as the technology it was built on. The concerns that plagued Wayne were not unfounded. He was acutely aware of the financial risks involved. As a one-third partner, he wasn't just a bystander, he was legally liable for any debts the company might incur. The possibility of Apple failing was not just a specter of lost potential, but a real threat of personal bankruptcy. The tech world, after all, is as much about failures as it is about spectacular successes. Moreover, the age difference between Wayne and the two Steves was not just a number, it represented a divergence in mindset and appetite for risk. Jobs and Wozniak were young, energetic, and ready to stake everything on their vision. Wayne, on the other hand, was more cautious, perhaps more attuned to the harsh realities of business failures, having seen more than his share. Thus, the decision that Ron Wayne made was rooted in a desire for stability over gamble. He chose to sell his 10% stake in Apple for a mere $800, a sum that, in today's terms, seems a pittance for a share of a tech empire. But at that moment, it was a way out of potential debt, a safeguard against the unpredictable whirlwind of a startup's early days. With a signature, Ron Wayne stepped away from what would become a tech empire, choosing peace of mind over potential fortune. After exiting the stage of Apple, where did Ron Wayne's journey take him? Well, unlike his former partners who rode the wave of Apple's spectacular growth, Wayne chose a markedly different path. He returned to a quieter, perhaps more familiar life, far from the revolutionary hustle of Silicon Valley. Ron Wayne directed his energies towards his interests in collecting stamps and coins, a passion that might seem quaint compared to the technological innovations he once helped to initiate. It's here, in the modesty of his pursuits, that Wayne found a different kind of richness. These collectibles weren't just hobbies, they became a means of sustenance, a way to support himself financially without the billions he might have earned had he stayed with Apple. Despite the vast sums of money he potentially turned away from, Wayne lived a life devoid of lavish luxuries. His financial backbone was not made of stock options or executive bonuses, but rather the steady, albeit less glamorous, income from Social Security and the sales from his collections. Imagine for a moment a life where simplicity and contentment outweigh the ceaseless pursuit of wealth. Ron Wayne embodies this ethos. His days are not filled with regret or what-ifs. Instead, they are marked by personal satisfaction and an appreciation for the smaller, yet no less significant parts of life. Ron Wayne might have stepped away from a fortune, but his life took a path of personal contentment and simplicity. One might wonder, does Ron Wayne regret his decision? In the grand theater of technological innovations, few stories are as poignant as that of Ron Wayne, a man whose name is often overshadowed by the colossal success of Apple, a company he helped found. Imagine stepping away from what would become a titan of the tech industry and doing so with a mere $800 in your pocket. It sounds almost unfathomable. Yet, Ron Wayne remains a figure of serene acceptance. He has often stated that he does not harbor regrets about his decision to leave Apple. For him, the choice was not about potential wealth, but about immediate peace of mind. At the time, the risk seemed enormous, potentially jeopardizing his financial stability. The company was young, spearheaded by partners who were significantly younger and more risk-tolerant. Wayne once said, "I made the best decision with the information available to me." His perspective is a testament to his pragmatic approach to life's unpredictable waves. He reflects on his decision without bitterness, viewing his departure from Apple as a necessary step that allowed him to maintain his quality of life, free from the burdens of potential debt and the relentless pressures of a startup environment. Moreover, Ron Wayne's life post-Apple has been rich with different pursuits. He has engaged in trading collectors' stamps and coins, a passion that perhaps would have been sidelined had he stayed with Apple. His interests and his life path showcase a man who values the richness of experience over material wealth. Ron Wayne's story is not just about the road not taken, but also about the quiet dignity of choosing stability over speculation. He often muses on the nature of decision-making, emphasizing that it's not about the outcomes we cannot predict, but the choices we can make in the moment. In Ron Wayne's words, life is about making decisions with the information you have, not the information you will get. What can we learn from Ron Wayne, the man who gambled his stake in Apple for $800? In the world of startups, the line between failure and groundbreaking success is often paper-thin. Ron Wayne's decision to leave Apple just 11 days after its inception, trading his 10% stake for a modest sum, provides an extreme example of risk management, albeit one that, in hindsight, might seem ill-fated. But let's delve deeper. Wayne's choice was driven by a clear understanding of his own limits and values. At the time, aligning with two much younger partners in a high-risk venture seemed more perilous than promising. His decision underscores a crucial lesson. Knowing oneself is as important as knowing one's business. It's about recognizing what you can and cannot live with, regardless of potential gains. This narrative also sheds light on the unpredictable nature of startups. Today, Apple stands as a colossus in the tech industry, but in the 70s its future was anything but certain. Wayne's decision therefore speaks to the broader theme of unpredictability in the startup landscape. Every entrepreneur faces this uncertainty, a gamble where stakes can be as high as personal and financial ruin. Moreover, Ron Wayne's story encourages a reflection on what success truly means. Is it always measured by financial gain, or can it be defined by personal peace and stability? Wayne, for his part, has expressed no regret over his decision, focusing instead on a life that avoids the what-ifs and cherishes stability over speculative success. Finally, this tale is a reminder that every decision carries weight. Whether it's leaving a budding company or starting a new venture, the choices we make shape our paths profoundly. It's essential then to approach these decisions with a deep understanding of both the market and our personal ethos. Ron Wayne's story is a poignant reminder of the intricate dance between risk and reward, and the profound personal understanding required to make life's biggest decisions.